Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 71. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, clear something up for me, friend. So, a little background. I start to question your status as a VR gamer because day after day I see you on there playing the pirate game, right? But I think, you know what? He just likes hanging out with Jim Hall. That's all cool. But now I'm hearing that you played Grip last night, but you chose to play it flat. Explain yourself, sir.
Well, I blame Radio Runt for setting the precedent, but no, it was hot as hell. Like I was already outside of the headset. We've been playing Sea of Thieves for about 3 hours, and then everyone's like, "Let's go into Grip," and I was like, the thought of putting the headset on at that point, um, did not sound good. And Radio Runt was feeling the same way. It was kind of weird because it's so hot, man. It's so hot these days. So there's those moments you don't want to go in VR. And Scion gave us a lot of crap because he's right. It doesn't feel the same. You're flipping around. See, my thing is I just wanted to hang out with everybody. But it was either nope out or concede to feeling dirty. Yeah, traitor.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. I'm just giving you a little bit of a hard time. Uh, it's kind of tough because you've got an air conditioner, right? You got one like 2 or 3 months ago, but your windows won't handle it. The way that they've got your windows set up, it opens sideways, so you can't use that air conditioner, which is a tragedy in my opinion.
Yeah. Plus I gave one away and then I sold that other one this weekend, which was good. But my thing was I want to get a good air conditioner, but I'm so short sighted, Wes. I was like, okay, I could spend $300 on the one I want, or I could get these new headphones I have on. And I didn't tell you this, but I rebought my Stream Deck because I'm actually streaming now on streaming and here. And like I've only been able to get this one button set up. I got to figure out how to do it for every scene, but my mom. So there's a lot of different things. Obviously, I already had the sound on there, but I can add extra things. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
And the summer's winding down anyway. August, as we all know, not fall. It is summer, of course, but it's the last month of summer, right? So, you know, a lot of these games that are supposedly coming in late summer, I think that they're running out of time, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I was distracted there, but yeah, they're running out of time. Summer's almost over, man. I mean, we're halfway through August. We're gonna be hitting fall, and I guess I don't know what's the technical fall date, like the end of September, right? Or like I know it's like right around my birthday, like the third week or something of September.
Yeah, it's something like that, man. And it can't get here soon enough because a lot of us are waiting on our new hardware, right? Because we ordered the HP Reverb G2, and everybody's just kind of expecting that they're going to get theirs on the 15th of September. But HP never said that, and I could see this thing getting stretched out into even October. Let's hope not, but it's very plausible.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I don't have that headset coming, so I don't have the same issue. But I want it for you. I want you to get it. So, and then you're gonna get your new, I guess your headphones, right, or whatever they're called. Yeah, because I know Radio Run's waiting for the same thing.
And talk about killing my incitement. I was super pumped when I ordered those headphones, and now since I sold my Rift S and have this other headset coming that has the Valve Index headphones on it, it's just like cool. I'm getting a new set of headphones. The excitement is completely gone for that one.
It's not too late to redirect your shipment to me. I still have the Rift S. And I'm not as sold on the audio as much as I was. I think the last Rift S I had actually had better audio. I really believe that because this one doesn't seem to be as good. And I was at a point I was telling you, dude, this is great. I don't need headphones. I need headphones, Wes. I got to see if these ones will fit over the Rift S because if they do, it'll be nice.
But do you still have your Sonys? I talked you into buying a pair. The pair that I used with my Rift S, that they fit over it quite nicely.
No, I almost rebought them again yesterday too. No, I stepped on them, I think, at one point and it broke one. I thought it wasn't broke, Wes, and then one day I was wearing them and they just fell apart, which is very interesting to have happen to you when you're in VR.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't have those anymore. I either use that or I've got those like cost ones, the clip-on ones that people did, the do-it-yourself garbage ones. They're okay, but I'd almost rather not have headphones at all. So.
Yeah, we're strange as VR enthusiasts. We've gotten so used to shelling out big bucks for premium equipment. Like normal stuff just isn't good enough for us, is it?
No, it's not. And that's why I keep telling Radio Rut, he says he needs a new mic for his Rift S. He doesn't want to he's afraid to send his Rift S in, I guess, to get a crappy refurbished one. Plus he'll be out VR. And I told him how good your ModMic works. But he doesn't want to invest the money in it. So I get it.
Yeah, that's true. I would urge him to go ahead and send it in because, as you know, with my CV1, I had a similar problem, and they sent me one that was like brand new, and the mic worked great. But I don't have the same confidence with the Rift S because the Rift S mic notoriously is not the best. So I'm not so sure that he has a defective one. He might just have a normal one, and it's not very good.
No, it cuts in and out. He goes into robo radio runt, and we can't understand too much of what he's saying. And it just comes and goes. There's no rhyme or reason. So.
Well, you said it. The ModMic wireless is a great microphone. Don't let the audio quality of this stream sway you on that. I am using it right now, but for some reason, whatever reason, whenever we go through Skype, it kind of puts this. It sounds a little bit like I'm talking on a telephone. But watch any of my gameplay videos, anything that's pre-recorded and not live, and you can tell that the quality of this thing is top notch, and you can attach it to anything. So it's an awesome product. There's a link in the description below for it, by the way, for anyone who's interested in picking one up.
Yeah, Delirium Drew says that it is amazing, and I know there's like at least half a dozen people that we know that are watching this that use them. So
yeah, it's a great product. It really is the only choice if you're someone who wants to stream or record Oculus Quest content. This thing is a must, and it's been a lifesaver in that capacity.
Yeah, Scion says, and it does. He's right. Okay, he's joking, but he says I need better sound because the spawns were spanking me in into the radius. Well, that game is all about like all the little noises, right? And I couldn't hear some of them, but to my defense, Scion, I was talking to you and streaming and doing, talking to everybody else, and I wasn't, you know what I mean? If I was just playing and listening, I probably would have heard the stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, Into the Radius is a solid game. The devs finally picked up on the fact that we covered their game. They gave us a little love on Twitter this week, so shout out to them.
Wow. Usually I'm amazed at some of these devs. There's like sometimes these devs reach out to us and I don't even know how they knew I guess they must search in the YouTube just the name of their game and everything that comes up, because it's like they're messaging us and I didn't even know that they knew we existed. So
what it is these games all have an official YouTube tag, and when I set up our streams and stuff, I'm always very vigilant about tagging everything that we talk about. So the devs that are actually interested in who's covering their game will know just by searching for their game tag.
Yeah, a little inside baseball. I guess it doesn't just happen. It happens through Wes's hard work. So I appreciate you, sir.
Well, I appreciate you. How about we do a show, Roots? We've got the chat filling out nicely. Spry Guy in the house, Delirium Drew, Scion, Radio Runt, Onakazi. Let's see here. Alex Mepper, Virtual Insider. What's up, Alex? PD in the house. What's up, buddy? Slay Blaze. A full cast of our regular chat goers here. I got to imagine that many of them are tuning in to get our take on this whole Hitman 3 VR fiasco that seems to keep rearing its ugly head in all the message boards. Roots, it's happened to us again, right? And I've said it almost weekly on this program that the biggest enemy to any kind of VR game or any kind of VR product, hardware, software, anything, the biggest enemy to a successful campaign is expectations. It's the expectations of the VR enthusiast, because generally we have an idea of what we want, and when the product doesn't quite do it, then we just we just trash it. It's garbage. It's not worth even looking at anymore. And such is the case with Hitman 3, because to be fair, they were a little misleading with their advertising. They made it seem like this was going to use everyone's favorite move controllers. And it turns out that's not the case at all. This is actually a gamepad game. Like many flat games that are ported into VR, this is going to be a gamepad game. But the big difference being that this is a tracked gamepad game. You're not just sitting there with your controller. When you move it, it's going to affect the game. So an unusual control style, but really, is it all that unusual? Most of these games that are like this, they're gamepad games, right?
Yeah. Well, what's funny is a lot of people would be willing to, because I've heard a lot of people trash it already, and they'd be willing to go into Vorpex and do full VR with a controller jankily. But this is unacceptable. I don't get it. I mean, I get it to some extent because I want to have my hands in there, and they did see, even the glass, the way that they kind of almost picked it up and had his hand move out and move back in, kind of insinuated that you had hand presence, right? And so everybody wants to feel like they're in the game. They want to feel as present as possible. But we were just saying, whether it be Helix Vision or Vorpex, just being in the game and like a 3D mode for Sony and all these flat games or any of these games. So what's the difference of being in the game, like Resident Evil 7, which is one of the best VR games on PlayStation VR, and not having your hand presence? I get it, but the controllers suck, dude. Like, you're fucking hanging on to these controllers like, I want to use them, please. And then when you use them, you bitch about using them. So just let us use the controller as is, and then when the PlayStation 5 comes out, maybe they release a new controller and things change. But like, we're in a weird place with PlayStation right now, with this system. Because I was just having this discussion last night when people were saying that, the place, I think it was Scion, PlayStation VR is shit. Like, no, he didn't really say that, but he's not going to be interested in it at all until PlayStation VR 2 or 1.5. And I told him what you've said. You opened my eyes. Like, we don't know what the power of the PlayStation 5 is going to open up. That hardware may be being held back. We don't know. It could be a really viable source. And I just want to be in the game, and I want to play amazing gameplay. And I don't care if I have hand presence. Do I want to have it? Absolutely. But to me, it's not a deal breaker. So,
yeah. And again, I don't, I get it. I'm like you. Of course, if we had our choice, we would all choose to have hand presence. I get that. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think people would be, making such a big deal out of this had they just come right out from the beginning and said this is a gamepad game. I think had they done that, then, I mean, we kind of all expected that anyway. If you'll remember, when this game was first announced, everybody was like, it's probably a gamepad game. And then they made that statement about, grabbing a pen or something and choosing what angle you deflect bullets with or something to that effect. And everyone assumed that it was move controllers. And that's when the narrative changed, right? But I kind of think that if they had just come right out and said this is a DualShock 4 game, that we wouldn't be talking about this at all. That everybody would just still be excited about it. I'm still excited about it. Hitman's a big deal. Any of these big AAA games are a big deal for VR. And, like I said initially, I'll just judge the game when it comes out and when I play it. If it sucks, I'll say it sucks. But Roots, I bet it doesn't suck.
I bet it doesn't suck too. And Delirium Juice says before it comes out, they'll put move support in. His moves work. Just he's tired of people saying PC users saying they don't work. It's not that they don't work, Drew. It's just that, like, okay, so people want locomotion, right? So to get the locomotion, they have to use the button scheme. Then people bitch about the button scheme. So they decide, okay, fuck it, we're going to leave the move controllers out so people can have locomotion. Then people bitch about it not being on the move controllers. So no matter what people do or what they do, people aren't happy. I think what you said is probably accurate, and that's what needs to happen anyway. Give us options. People want to use the scheme like Skyrim, and they want to push buttons, and they're used to it. Absolutely. But it is a lot more to add to have hand presence. So I don't necessarily know that that's 100% going to happen to me, because that's a lot of work. But it makes me wonder, Wes, okay, so if you're using what are you going to track the controller for? So am I going to be using my controller and I can hold up the frying pan to deflect? Because that's kind of what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's partial hand presence is basically what it is. You're still going to be using button presses to initiate things, but yeah, you're going to have a little more freedom than a standard gamepad game will give you. In that, your hands are going to be partially tracked by where you hold your controller.
Yeah, I think we just need to look at the bigger picture, and we're getting a AAA IP in VR that everybody's excited for. There's going to be a transition. We can't go from, point A to point Z, and all of a sudden everything's hand tracked and everything's perfect in VR. We're going to have those moments where an IP is a little nervous, and they're like, okay, well, let's put the game in and I've said this before, I'll take the game exactly as it is, just put me in it. And that's kind of what's happening, but they're adding a little bit of extra with the move controller moving. I just think everybody's looking at it, very one-sided, and not what this is going to do for VR. And maybe if this is successful, then you have another IP that's on Sony that says, you know what, they did it, we can do it too. And before long, every IP is doing it with move controller or with a controller. And then people start to branch out and start fully going in, as well as other ones that are jumping in. You know what I mean? I think it's not going to be like this for that long, in my opinion, especially with PlayStation 5 dropping, and who knows what's coming out with their hardware with VR, because it's so all over the place, rumor wise.
Yeah, and there's another angle too that people really aren't thinking about here, and I'll go ahead and preface this with a quote. I've got a quote from the senior game designer here. It says, quote, "The current version of the game is not using move controllers, it's using DualShock. We are, however, using the motion-controlled tracking and gyroscope to the max. There are many reasons for us ending on this decision, but to be honest, we think that we found a perfect fit for the game through this hybrid control scheme." Roots, let's look at this from their perspective for a second. And obviously, this is a big deal. It's a big title, a big AAA, well-known title. They're getting into the VR business with the hopes, their best case scenario is that they sell headsets, that their game brings new people into VR. Let's say that they're successful with that, and that they sell, 500,000 headsets or whatever, maybe more, being optimistic. Those new players that are coming into VR, what do you think that they'll pick up easier? A couple of move controllers that have button locomotion, or a gamepad that they've been playing with their entire life with thumbsticks? And then now it's not like a normal flat game, because now they can move their hands around and see that their in-game avatar is doing exactly what they're doing. I mean, it would be a lot easier for a new user, right, to play with a gamepad.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense. It's the same reason I use for Call of Duty or Sea of Thieves or whatever, when other people tell me how accurate shooting a gun is with a mouse and keyboard. And I tell them I've used guns in games like this my whole life with a controller. That's what feels natural. That's what I enjoy doing. And my instincts do that already. Now I've got to relearn a completely different way, even though you say it's better. No, I don't think so. It makes more sense to me, and it's exactly what they said. People are gonna come into this, and they're gonna be in that world, and they're gonna be able to move around and do everything just like they normally would. And I don't know, man. Resident Evil 7 feels so good just the way it is, and everybody's chasing the dragon on PC just to have an immersive screen of it. Instead of, again, you know, it's just a weird, bizarre thing. It's like one thing is completely acceptable, but if it's made for VR, it has to be hand presence or nothing. And I would submit that a lot of people, if they literally went down that road, if they just said fuck it and they were able to decide, we would never see the IPs in VR that we want to see, because they have to have that stepping stone. You know, not everybody's Valve, not everybody's going to have the guts or the balls to jump out there and make a full VR game. They need something that they can easily translate. I'm assuming this is coming. Is this coming out on flat as well, or is this just complete?
Oh yeah, that's kind of the point here. This isn't a built from the ground up VR game. This is basically all of 3 of the Hitman, you know, titles, the 2 that are already out, plus the upcoming newly announced sequel. You know, this is a VR mode. This is not a game made for VR. And you know, we've seen it with other games, like you said, Resident Evil, games like Hellblade that were brought into VR. They're all gamepad games. Again, I think that we're just falling victim here to our own expectations.
Yeah, I think that's it. Expectations. And you know, we live in a weird world, Wes, in 2020, where everything, like, we make up stuff in our mind on everything. You know what? You know, and so people start to. They think something, and then they think about it enough, they start to believe it, and then they feel like they've been lied to. But like you said in the forum or the Discord, at least they came out like within days and said, whoa, wait a minute, this is what it is. They clarified it. Hopefully enough people saw that clarification, because I don't know, you know, the way things work, it's already started, the ball's already started rolling. So I think there's already going to be some backlash no matter what they do, because there's those certain people that have heard about it and tuned out already, and they won't hear anything again until it's over, you know?
Yeah, well, that's true, and I do think that that people are going to take notice, at least the hardcores, you know, the people who have VR right now, because Upload picked up on it immediately. I mean, Brian Paul took straight to Twitter to basically call the developers insane.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, they brought it on themselves at the end of the day. That their advertising was misleading. But you know, again, I can't fully blame them, because it's not like they live in our bubble, right? They don't, you know, things that are common and common sense to us. I mean, these guys are new to VR, so obviously they're not thinking that, you know, people are going to take their words and you know, derive move support out of them. I'm sure it didn't even dawn on them. You know, PD has an interesting take on it here. He says that they can't use the move controllers, as it would mean an 18 rating, so they have to use a gamepad. And I heard Anthony say something similar to this. Do you think that this has something to do with realistic violence? You know, you brought it up last week when we announced this game, that that this could mean a lot for like GTA 5 VR, based on the you know, the whole argument about violence in video games. Well, that's what PD and Anthony are saying here, is that maybe it's a little too realistic with motion controllers, and that's the reason that they're going with gamepad. What do you think?
I think that's very viable, because like I said, it's pretty visceral to hold your hands up and choke somebody to death with a thing. I felt like that was taking it to the next level from even GTA 5, where you're shooting somebody in the face. You know, I've never strangled somebody to death. I've never shot somebody in the face either, but I don't want to do either. But it seems like strangling somebody would be a little bit more personal.
Yeah, it's really similar, choking someone in a VR game, to do it in real life. The only difference is, you know, that feeling you get when you feel the life leave their body and they kind of just go limp. Obviously, they haven't been able to replicate that in VR very well yet, but who knows? You know, maybe Move Controller 2 will have that kind of tech going on in there.
Crossing fingers, man. All I have to say is,
how dare you?
You know, my thought is I'm starting to rethink. You know, I invited you and your wife to come visit sometime, but Wes is
Sleep
like,
with one eye open, Roots.
Yeah, that's crazy. Stabbing is personal too, yeah. Especially when it's Scion stabbing the face of rendered reality. Well, not yet, but it's coming.
Right. So yeah, basically, I'm going to judge this game when I have it in my hands. Roots. I would suggest that everybody just take a step back, take a deep breath, and realize what we're talking about here. We're not talking about some indie tech demo. We're talking about a big AAA VR title that we're lucky to have, quite frankly. And I think that we'd all be well served to play it before we condemn it. I mean, I guess it's a lot of people now are probably going to wait, because it looks like, it is going to be a PSVR exclusive at launch. But the fact that they're saying that at launch just goes ahead and tells you everything you need to know, that this is a timed exclusive. It's going to come to PCVR at some point. And I got to imagine that, much like with Resident Evil 7 and Borderlands 2, people are going to wait on this one, Roots. They're not going to pick it up on their PlayStation.
Yeah, probably. I know I want to play it either way, PlayStation 5 or on PC. So.
Well, I bet that people are taking it to Vorpex and Helix Vision on day one, trying to get that premium windowed gamepad experience,
Yes, I just like I said, dude. Like I feel like that's because I still had issues, by the way, with Resident Evil 7. After I was able to turn off, I think it was my FPS VR that was messing up because it starts with Steam, but it's still giving me some kind of error or issues or something. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
We're gonna have to get that worked out. Maybe we can do a video call or something. You can share your screen, and we can get this thing put to bed once and for all.
Yeah, because I want to stream it. I promised Mamefan I was going to stream or play through it again, and I have to honor that promise, and I want to do it. So
yeah, and it works great for me. And like, it's been really impressive, Helix Vision. And I don't want to do our whole Helix Vision episode right here in the Hitman segment, but the Outlast, Resident Evil 7, these games have run at pretty much native, settings. They're running almost as good as they would run if I weren't viewing them in VR. I mean, I'm running them on 1080p with very high graphical settings. I am turning off, ambient occlusion and chromatic aberration, motion blur, all of that stuff. Of course, I'm turning off, but I'm not having to jack everything down to low like you do with Vortex. I'm taking it from ultra down to very high, and it's running just fine, man. It's doing great.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about Helix Vision versus Vortex. It just doesn't use the resources for whatever they're doing is different. And granted, it doesn't. I mean, it's just each one of them's different. I prefer Helix Vision. If I had to go side by side and I could play either version in a cinematic 3D screen, it's going to be Helix Vision because it just seems to run a little bit better. So,
yeah, Scion says, is Helix Vision your Monday show tomorrow? No, Scion, I want to get some more games in before we do a full-on Helix Vision episode. Tomorrow, we've got a banger lined up, though. We've got Jenny and Thaco, which I did a gameplay on just yesterday. Be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Might even be having a giveaway. I'm still working on that one. Tune in tomorrow. Maybe we'll have an extra copy of the game to give away. But we're doing Jenny and Thaco, Moose Life, which I've put some significant time into, Roots, over the last few days. And then I think we're going to, for the topic, we're going to talk about a few entertainment experiences, some different news items that it was a little too much to cover in the episode today. So I just kind of cut that part out. And I think we're going to talk about that tomorrow.
Cool. Sounds good.
So, yeah, Bangin' Ass Monday show, as always. Tune in tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Evening, I guess, depending on where you're living at.
I haven't tried this Ginny and Thaco yet. So I think I'm going to stream it later. I was going to do it last night, but Scion started bugging me to grip it up. So.
Yeah, man. Ginny and Thaco, interesting, because normally I'm not all about the tower defense, but these are some funny dudes. Did you see the tweet I put on the Discord, Roots, that that these guys tweeted out? The Thaco character tweeted at me.
I did not actually. I saw that. I need this. I didn't know that's what it was. I need to check
So
that out.
so I do the gameplay, right, and immediately these guys pick it up. They catch it within 10 minutes of the video going live. They're tweeting it out, right? But they have another Twitter account, which is Thaco, the character, the wizard character from the game. And when you play the game, you're going to see that there's a lot of humor going on here, right? And a lot of it's tongue-in-cheek, toilet humor. But you got to know what you're looking at to see it. But he tweeted at me after they tweeted out our video. He quoted it, and then he tweeted at me, how did it feel to pull my tower and feel the magic? Get it?
Yeah, I was just it says feel my magic. I was just reading it. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's funny.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna give my entire reply here, but I told him it was kind of hard at first. If you catch my drift.
You know who else likes it hard at first?
My mom.
Yeah, a lot of that kind of humor going on in this game. So, I mean, not only is the gameplay addictive, it's one of those things that like you want to redo away because you feel like you could do it better. There's a lot of strategy involved with it. But the humor makes it a joy to play, and the production values are there. So yeah, it takes some time there's a lot going on with it. So it takes some time to really get in there and get comfortable with it. But it's a quality title, and I look forward to getting your take on it tomorrow on the Monday show.
Cool. I can't wait to play it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about my favorite game of all time, Roots. My one of my many favorite games of all time, The Walking Dead Onslaught. We finally, Survios has announced the long anticipated release date for The Walking Dead Onslaught. And we have learned that this zombie survival game is going to touch down on September 29th on PC as well as PlayStation 4. In a press release announcing the release date, Survios noted that The Walking Dead Onslaught's PlayStation 4 version will also be compatible with the next-gen PS5 Roots. And I find it interesting because Upload VR is kind of making a big deal out of this, that it's going to work on PS5 as well. But of course it is. I don't know if they just missed the memorandum, but any PlayStation game that comes out after July, and August is after July, any PlayStation game now going forward is mandated by Sony. It must run on PlayStation 5. And that's going to include VR only games like this. So any VR game that comes out or is announced now through the end of the year is going to be a PlayStation 5 game as well. But they did a whole big write-up on it because it's the first confirmed PlayStation 5 VR game. Okay. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem like news to me.
No. Do you think they're going to dumb it down like the Quest game? You know, because it's got to play on the PlayStation, old PlayStation, so that it'll be shit because it on the PlayStation 5. No, just kidding.
Well, you can see it there, man. You can see what it looks like. I think it looks pretty phenomenal. I can only imagine how great it's going to be on the PlayStation 5.
Oh, yeah. Well, either way, it's going to look phenomenal. But no, I was just joking about the Quest. Everybody gets all freaked out if it's on Quest. It looks like crap. I think the gameplay, that the trailer was good. I guess we do have audio, but we're not playing it. But I thought that was a good trailer, and I think it's going to sell a lot of headsets.
Yeah, Gamertag VR in the chat says this looks quite different from last I played, but that was almost a year ago. So he played it, I think, at Gamescom last year or one of these types of conventions. And yeah, I got to imagine that it probably is. I mean, they've been working on it for a year. The entire scope of the game has changed, and I got to imagine that it probably is very different from what it was a year ago.
I just think it's what the coolest part about this trailer when I was watching it, and it sounds stupid, but like when you're watching Daryl and he's telling a little bit of the story and you're hearing his voice, that makes a difference. You know what I mean? Like I know that a lot of these game things will get cheap. They don't want to pay the money for Norman Reedus's voice or whatever. But you need it, you know, like if they had all the cast, it would be phenomenal, but that would probably be way too much money, and
Well,
coordinating.
I'll just say this. We kind of speculated a couple of weeks ago when we did a segment on this game that maybe during the scenes that you play as Rick, that maybe there won't be a voiceover, maybe that it'll just be text on the screen and you select. Rick is talking in this trailer. I don't know if it's particularly this trailer, but one of the trailers has Rick, giving some lines, and it's not Andrew Lincoln, but obviously they auditioned for someone who can do a pretty good impression, and sounds very similar. It's certainly good enough to have a Rick voiceover in the game. So again, I think that this is going to be as advertised, like stepping into an actual episode of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, that's what they said they want to do. They want to drop you into making you feel like you're into an episode, and I'm assuming that the majority of talking is Daryl's voice. So having a few voices that are similar here or there is not going to be that big a deal. And I just think that hearing his voice for me added immersion. It just made you feel like, again, you're in that episode, and that's cool.
Yeah. September 29th, Roots, right after the confirmed launch date, September 15th for the HP Reverb G2. So we're going to be experiencing this one in style, huh?
Yeah. Gamertag wants a Carl Rick impression. Carl, no. Carl, I still think Carl was.
I love you, Carl.
He was boss, as soon as he stole that pudding, he's like, fuck you, Rick. It was cool.
Let me tell you, man, that scene where Carl finally dies, and I don't know if you've seen it, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't been watching for the last 3 years, but Carl dies by his own hand. But they have this whole scene right beforehand where everybody's telling them bye, and it's just so heart ripping. It rips your heart out of your chest when you see Rick go, I love you, Carl.
It made me cry.
It's it's a tough one to swallow.
Yeah, it was good.
Anyway, the game's going to come in 2 digital editions, and they are now available for pre-order on the Oculus Store and Steam, with the PlayStation Store to follow. Roots, we've got a standard edition and a deluxe edition, and much to my delight, Roots, standard edition only $30, and I think that's a big plus, right?
Really? I thought, well, so which one is, I know one of them's on sale, right? For like $23.99 or so, $26 or something?
Yeah, they're both on sale. They both get a 10% pre-order discount, but the retail price is going to be $30 and $40 respectively.
Okay, so you're going to buy the $40 because you get the katana, you get
Well, anyone who pre-orders either version is going to get the Sheriff Rick and Hunter Daryl character skins, as well as the gold katana and the gold knuckle knife weapon skins. So that's for anybody who pre-orders any version of the game. I don't know, Roots. I like the idea of having these different weapon skins, but I mean, solid gold, really? I think I would have went a little different direction with that.
Yeah, I don't know about the color of it, but like I said in VR, and what better way to look down and see your gun, to see that skin. So
yeah. But the digital deluxe edition, there's actually quite a bit they're offering here for that extra $10. Iconic show weapons pack, including Lucille, Rick's mace, the red machete, and those of you who are hardcore Walking Dead fans know all about the red machete. You're going to get Tyrese's hammer. You're going to get an Alexandria crafting starter kit. And you're going to get the Walking Dead Onslaught mini soundtrack and art book as well, which, honestly, I could care less about that stuff. But these weapons, Roots, the machete, Lucille, Tyrese's hammer, I mean, that's a pretty good proposition for an extra $10.
Yeah, what's good about it is it's only $10, and you're getting a lot of good weapons, and you don't have to craft them. I'm assuming you have them all from the very beginning. So you just grab Lucille and want to go smacking around, you're good to go. So
Yeah, and you should have Lucille. I mean, in the context of the story, you just defeated Negan. You
mm,
have Lucille, so it makes sense that you would want to have that, right? And you also get this Alexandria crafting starter kit, which I guess is probably going to give you a leg up in the game, right? You're not going to have to go out and grind immediately to be able to craft.
yeah, so I'm confused because Negan's still in control and he's still alive when I stopped watching the series. So I'm just gonna keep it there. He's still out there killing people with his mace or his bat. So
Well, September's coming quickly, Roots. You might want to go renew your Netflix subscription and binge a little bit here and get caught up because, yeah, man, it's coming.
yeah, no, I think Carl was about the time I stopped. You even said it that a lot of people stopped watching the show. Even the people in the show kind of tuned out when Carl got cut out of the show. Same with Roots, I guess. Roots is like, fuck that, man. No Carl, I'm out. So,
Yeah, they kind of really screwed up big time. Now the show's still good, but obviously it was better when Rick was on the show. And I think a lot of the reason why Rick is gone now is because of what they did to Carl and the way they Dick Chandler Riggs over,
yeah.
signing him into a new contract, letting the kid move, drop out of school, buy a new house local, and then killing him within half a season. I mean, that was ruthless, cold-blooded, Roots.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's jump the shark.
Anyway, additionally, purchases via the PlayStation Store will also receive a PlayStation 4 theme and an avatar pack. So, all that stuff I just read off, if you're buying this game on PlayStation, you're going to get even more.
Wow. Well, good deal. It looks like a good game. And like Gamer Chick 13 was saying, it's not common that a game comes out from the same series so close together from two different things, but I think they're so different in a way, and one's because it's Rick and versus the comic book. I think it works. I think this one will be just as good.
Yeah, yeah, I think that these are going to be two very different games, and anybody who's a Walking Dead fan is a Walking Dead fan, and they're going to recognize the difference immediately. It's not. I don't think you have to deal with very much brand confusion here. Again, two very different games. I'm going to just throw it out there. We are very much looking forward to the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners co-op mode that we're keeping our fingers crossed for here, but I got to imagine that we can't be the only ones that see this glaring opportunity here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Greg's VR says they should pull a Dallas moment and just say it was all a dream, and they can bring Carl back. They could do anything at that point, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Netflix. That's a Netflix move, right? Netflix picks up the rights to it as if AMC would ever let it go.
Yeah.
And then just do a complete reboot from season 7 premiere on. I think a lot of people would be happy about that.
I want to go back in time and revamp Shane. I don't think he was a bad guy. You just if he doesn't kill Otis, I think his trajectory goes a different way. I think that was defining moment, right? So
yeah, that's when he went over the edge for sure.
Yeah, he got all wigged out.
Let me ask you something here, Roots. Normally we have these cross-platform releases. It's a pretty cut and dry case for me. I'll pick it up on PC because the headset has a little bit more fidelity. The controllers have a little bit more tracking and thumbsticks. But we have the prospect now of PlayStation 5 VR, and we don't exactly know what that's going to be yet. So what should I do, Roots, here? Because I mean, I may end up buying this on PC, and then 6 months down the road, 3 months down the road, all of a sudden Sony announces a PlayStation VR Pro, new Move controllers, and then all of a sudden now we've got this powerful, PlayStation 5, which we've talked about ad nauseum about how amazing that console is going to be. I'm kind of stuck here, Roots. I really don't know. Obviously, I'm going to pre-order, right? I don't know which store to pre-order on.
Well, you said the the PlayStation's it's not coming out. They're not being released at the same time, right? Or are they?
I think that they are. It's just that let me see here. That's not available for pre-order quite yet. I think what
Okay.
it was.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a conundrum. I mean, you're talking about several months down the road. So maybe it's on sale then. Probably not. But I don't know. Westworld was on sale not maybe 6 months later. Maybe you get it on sale for the PlayStation VR. I don't know. I would get it on PC, but I'm always going to lean that way. Until the PlayStation 5 is that much more phenomenal and I've got an equal headset, then I really have a conundrum. You got the reverb too, man. This is a no-brainer, bro. Like, you're gonna
Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, let me ask you this, Roots. This game has been announced for the Oculus Store as well as Steam. But when they announced it on Steam, in parentheses, they said HTC Vive and Valve Index. So no mention of Windows Mixed Reality. Now I know that I'll be able to, if I were to buy it on the Oculus Store, that I would be able to play it via Revive. But while I think that I would be able to play natively on Steam VR, no confirmation of that yet. So, which of the two PC VR platforms should I pre-order on?
I'll solve your problem, Wes. I'll buy it on Steam, and then you don't have to worry about it, and you can just you get it on Oculus, I guess, if you want.
So that's interesting because you have an Oculus headset, and you say you're going to buy it on Steam, despite what I just said. The Steam VR version in parentheses said HTC Vive and Valve Index. It didn't say anything about Oculus Rift either.
Well, my thinking is it's just like whenever a game comes out and it doesn't mention HTC and it mentions the Index and the Oculus, we don't say, oh, they're not, it comes out, it plays for HTC. It's just very rare. I would think it'd be almost, I can't see them not releasing it for Oculus on Steam, as far as the controllers. That would make no sense to me, but I don't know.
Here's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to pre-order it on Steam for all the obvious reasons. That would probably be the best route to go. And then if something, there's still 6-7 weeks between now and release. I'm sure we'll get more information in the days leading up to it. The good thing about Steam is that it has this awesome refund policy. So if I decide I want to change my mind, I can. But if I were to buy this, say, on the PlayStation Store, I'm locked in, bro. You're getting it.
Yeah.
So I think I'll pre-order it on Steam, and then it'd be kind of crappy if I did have to, refund it, because then I would lose my my golden katana.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that's the direction I'm going to go.
Very, very rarely do I have any issues with Steam VR games playing on my Oculus. Every once in a while, there'll be a game that's a little bit more optimized on the Rift, and that's just that one game. But it happens so rare that I'm starting to feel more inclined again to get it on Steam. One, so you, Alex, and Mamefan can play it if you guys don't have it, and then two, to future-proof myself, because on the other hand, I'm not one that just wants to use Revive. I don't naively think, Revive works just as good on every game. I mean, most games it does. But from what other people say, there are games out there that just don't, they run like shit. And if I, just like Viveport Infinity, same thing. Most of the games work great. Every once in a while, you run into a game that just runs like crap. And what if that's your favorite game that you own on Oculus, and now you got to redo it again? And not making the case, because I mean, obviously you need to, Revive is a good tool, but to assume that I could just play it on Revive is just as dangerous to assume everything else, because you may not be able to play it very well on Revive, at least not in the initial, So
yeah, well, that's a good point. And like Mamefan says here too, he concurs with what you said a moment ago, that I could just skip it up buying it on Steam, because you guys are both going to buy it anyway. But I want Lucille. I don't think that stuff would come over. Like if we did if I played it through game sharing, I wouldn't have Lucille. I wouldn't get Tyrese's hammer. None of that cool extra stuff. that's going to come with the digital deluxe edition. I wouldn't be able to access any of that.
Man, dude, I want to look down and see Tyrese's hammer, man. What a badass, right?
Yeah,
I like
dude, love
Tyrese.
Tyrese. Everybody likes Tyrese, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, not everybody. There's a couple people on the show that didn't.
Yeah, Mepper says new Steam games seem to almost always work with WMR, even if it isn't mentioned, but older Steam games don't. Yeah, that seems to be the case. Pretty much anything that comes out with Vive support seems to also have WMR support. So yeah, I expect it to work. And all indications are that the HP Reverb G2 is going to be a major player. I mean, just as major as most, new VR headsets are. So I got to imagine that the developers at Survios are going to take that into account. And I'd say the only reason that they haven't confirmed it yet is because they don't have a dev kit for it. I'd say if they had the thing in their hands right now, they'd already be announcing the support for it.
Yep.
Anyway, let's move on. Roots, we talked about this next game before on our show, and I really honestly didn't expect that we'd ever come back to it again. But I thought since we were on the topic of release date announcements, that we would go ahead and take the completionist approach here and announce the newly announced launch date of Little Witch Academia. The launch date of this upcoming VR title has been revealed to come out on Oculus Quest only Roots, October the 13th. So a spooky date for this witch game. And the only reason I bring this up, well, one of the many reasons, I don't want to say it's the only reason, this is the closest thing that we're going to get to Quidditch in VR, Roots. It's broom racing. So even though we might not be fans of this cutesy little anime series, which, by the way, this is apparently a popular anime series. Even though we're not fans, I still think that the gameplay of this game could be fun.
Yeah, I want to know, is there anybody out there that's seen this series or they're like literally legitimately excited for this? Because I'm excited. I was just watching this trailer today with my son. Came in and I was drinking coffee with him while I was pulling the scenes, and I showed it to him. And he's 22, and what's weird is he didn't seem impressed, Wes. He was like, and I said, yeah, it's supposed to be like Quidditch. It's exactly what you said, the closest thing to Quidditch that we have in VR. It's a racing game. It looks pretty cool. I guess if you're into anime, I just want the real Quidditch, Wes. I want to play a full Quidditch game, 4-on-4, flying around a broom, catching everything about that, the flying thing or whatever that zipping thing around. It's been so long since I've seen Harry Potter. I think that it would be phenomenal. And if you got the rights to Harry Potter, it could be amazing. Yeah, this could be cool, I guess. I told him, I said, I can't see myself playing this game unless the devs sent me the game. Then I would try it. But other than that, I don't know that.
Viveport.
Or Viveport
Infinity.
Yeah, this could be like the gem in the gem, right? So
Yeah, I don't see myself dropping the 30 on this either. But something tells me I'm not going to have to, Roots. I think that this game, this looks like a Viveport game to me. And I'd actually be pretty surprised if, it's going to be a popular deal in Japan. But, if they want people in the States to play it, I got to imagine that Viveport's probably the best way to go about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see. Yeah, it has a strong Harry Potter vibe. I agree. And Mamefan says Broomball VR is on Steam for free. It came out in 2016. You can Quidditch it up right now. Have you tried it?
Onakazi says that this series is on Netflix, Roots, and it's actually pretty good.
Oh wow! I've never. I don't have Netflix. Are you gonna check it out?
I'm going to tell my daughter about it, and if she's in the anime, so if she doesn't already know about it, we do have Netflix, so I might turn her on to it and see what she thinks.
Yeah, she might watch the series, and then she'll be like, "Daddy, you got to try this game." And
then I'll have an excuse, right? And have an excuse to drop $30 on this.
Yeah, $30.
Yeah, $30.
Oh, Jesus, man. I didn't hear that part. Are you kidding me? Holy crap. Yeah, I don't know, man. $30, that blows me. Maybe this is like the best game ever, but I would say 15 would be my max. But I haven't tried it, so.
Well, I will say this. I do expect this to be a fairly high quality title. Um, Obviously, the VR Broom Racing is said to be pretty faithful to the anime series. The series' usual voice actors are going to return,
Oh,
both the Japanese voice actors as well as the English dub voice actors. So
wow.
they're bringing in all their people and pulling out all the stops. Obviously, the premise here is you're going to enroll as a guest student at the Luna Nova Witchcraft Academy, and then you're going to interact with the show's characters uh, by racing them. And obviously, and this is the big plus for me. This is the one thing that really piques my interest about this game. Roots confirmed online multiplayer modes
Hmm.
for you to take on other players. So it isn't just that I'm going in here and taking on AI with these other apparently well-known anime characters, but we could be pulling a money show in this thing, Roots,
Hmm.
head to head.
That's cool. Well, actually, I guess it just depends on the gameplay, right? And as if you're a really huge fan of this series, this could be a huge game for you. If it's got all the actors and everything in there, production wise, you get to feel like you're in this anime world, flying the brooms with all your favorite characters. Yeah, I guess it'd be pretty cool. I really can't judge it without playing it. Doesn't look like my bag per se, but it could be good.
Yeah, time will tell. Um, you know, obviously our main interest in this thing is that it reminds us of Harry Potter. Now, I've been really curious to find out. I haven't checked yet, but the Harry Potter movie video games,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that Warner Brothers released, every movie release had an official video game that came with it. Some very good looking flat games. Did those get released on PC? Does anyone know? Because if they did, Bruce, we might be able to helix that stuff, Vorpex it, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know too much about the Harry Potter games or what came out to PC, but be interested to
Oh,
know. So,
I'm going to take it to Steam in real time. This week's episode of In Real Time, we're going to look for Harry Potter
well, Scion
because
Scion says we're gonna have a Little Witch Academia multiplayer night in the Virtual Strangers Discord, and what we could do is we could challenge rendered reality to a broomstick race and see which team wins.
they're not interested in anything that we might win.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was just telling last night when we did some grip. I know who our ringers are, Scion and Spry Guy. I don't know who their ringers are if they accept the challenge. I guarantee somebody that watches their show is good at racing, and it'll be interesting to see if we ever do it.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously just jabbing them a little bit here. As cool as it would be to get them in grip, obviously grip's not a team based thing, or maybe there's a mode I don't know about, like with the death match. Maybe there is some kind of team based thing, but obviously contractors a better fit for our communities to go head to head.
Yeah.
But verdict is that those games are not on Steam, Roots, those Harry Potter games. Now the Harry Potter Lego games are on there, and don't underestimate those. I've played some of the superhero Lego games, and they're actually quite fun.
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty good. They're actually got a good story to them as well, usually. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Um, So yeah, Little Witch Academia, October the 13th for Oculus Quest, coming as well to PlayStation VR, Oculus Rift, and Steam VR early next year. So
mm,
it's only a timed exclusive on Quest. For those of you that are completely bummed out that this isn't coming to PC VR, you won't have to wait very long. It'll be out early next year, and you'll be able to drop your $30 down to Broom Race.
yeah, and if you're upset, just get Onslaught instead. Slum it with Onslaught on the PC if you can't get this Little Witch.
Right,
So,
right. Anyway, moving on, let's go from release dates to updates. And let's talk about Phantom Covert Ops for a moment. One of the best releases of the year, especially if we're talking about Oculus Quest. Certainly one of the best games ever come out on Oculus Quest. But we have finally received the announcement from InDreams of the launch of its very first content update for Phantom Covert Ops. And this is titled Challenge Pack 1. And basically, what this is, Roots, aside from bug fixes, and yeah, the bug fixes are in there like they always are, but there's a bunch of new game modes and cheats to add some further replayability to what I felt like was already a very replayable game with the leaderboards and the different routes you can take through the levels. A great game, Roots, and now apparently a lot more challenge being added into it.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Looks like you can race like through some minefields. You got all sorts of targets popping up. Oh, battleship. I don't know what the hell this is, but I don't know. I like different things. And sometimes you don't want to do the story. You just want to shoot. It feels good to shoot in VR. And this actually looks pretty challenging as far as what you got going on. So
Yeah, it looks, just looking at it right offhand, it reminds me a lot of the content update for Blood and Truth. If you remember when they added in like the aim controller mode with all of that extra stuff, and they put a bunch of new content into Blood and Truth, and it was pretty fun. And this looks very similar to that.
yeah, you know what's funny? I didn't even put associate this with each other, but GamerCheck13 just asked if she heard right that the Witch game was priced at the same value as Onslaught.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's funny.
that's a
I'm
problem.
sorry, go ahead.
That's a big problem. It's even the same price as the Saints and Sinners, right? And I mean, both of those are phenomenal game. Well, we know Saints and Sinners is, but Onslaught looks
I
like
think,
it is.
didn't Saints and Sinners launch at 40? I think Saints and Sinners launched at 40,
Okay,
unless I'm mistaken.
well, even at 40, I don't know. It's just so close. $30 is just too much for that game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Both games, Little or VR, what was it called again? I've already forgot what it's called. Little Witch Academia and The Walking Dead Onslaught, both games $30. I would say that one of those games is underpriced at $30, and the other one's probably overpriced at $30. So I'll just let you guys fill in the blanks on that one and figure that one out for yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I guess they're right. It was 40 and 50 for Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and it was definitely worth the price of admission for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But we got some information here on these Phantom Covert Ops game modes. First of all, Unfathomable is a time trial where all of the paddle controls are reversed. Roots, this sounds like a absolute nightmare to me. When you're trying to go forward and you have to push backward, or if you want to go left and you have to push right. I don't see myself making it to the end of that challenge, let alone doing it in a timely manner.
And it sounds like something that would be interesting and fun to try, though. Like it's not
Oh,
going to
for
be
sure.
easy for sure. So,
Yeah, Target Hunt is all about exploring levels and shooting pop-up cutouts of enemies. Again, very similar to what they did in Blood and Truth.
yeah, but you know what? It's funny is like, I mean, this to me looks more fun than Blood and Truth. So when I watched the Blood and Truth extras that they added, it was like I just didn't feel that compelled, like I would want to go out and do them because it was just another target thing. This is different, you know what I mean? Like because I guess maybe because of the mechanic of the kayak, but it just looks different to me.
That is true. You do have the kayak, and the other one is kind of on a rail.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as the kind of what you're doing outside of that, it's very,
Similar.
very similar.
Yeah, true.
Let's see here. The update is not purely about new maps. The cheats section is also getting several new additions. Loose Cannon Roots is an infinite ammunition grenade launcher. Now tell me who wouldn't have fun in VR with an infinite ammunition grenade launcher?
Oh God. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Especially if is that going through the game mode? Like the actual game?
I would assume so. Yeah, these are cheats.
Okay.
So I got to imagine that. Yeah, you'd be able to go right through the game with your grenade launcher and just wreak havoc on everything.
Now let me ask you this: if I spawn this grenade launcher, Is that guy going to be like lecturing me the whole time, trying to
Yeah,
tell me?
don't kill the high value, or don't kill the normal targets, right? Only
Yeah,
high value ones.
yeah. If I'm killing everybody, and I just need there needs to be a mode to shut that guy up too.
Yeah, you can have this infinite ammunition grenade launcher. Just don't use it, right? Stealth, Roots. Stealth.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely it's definitely not a stealth mode with an limited ammo in a rocket launcher or grenade launcher. So
Uh, Powder keg Roots. This is the one that is the most intriguing to me. The one that I'm looking most forward to trying out. Powder keg. Uh, it changes all of those finely aimed headshots on the high value targets. You know the ones I'm talking about,
mhm.
where they say this guy's a high value target, take him out, and you have to pull out your sniper rifle and headshot him. Uh, it makes their heads explode, Roots. So
Oh
like when you
wow.
shoot these guys in the head and you actually make the shot, it blows up like a watermelon on Gallagher's stage. You know.
I think that should have been there from day one. Like if
Yeah.
I want to shoot somebody's head, it's gonna explode, like real life. I mean, not that I want to see that per se, but at least give me the option. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
uh,
Broadside gives you a SV-54 assault rifle, which doesn't need to be reloaded. But here's the thing, Roots. It's on a target range. So apparently, this is not one that you get to take through the game. It's actually another target mode for you to go through. But I'm sure a lot of fun just handling this heavy piece of equipment.
yeah. People are saying that the lyric, or wait, no, is it Matty Matt wants the rapids and a bow and arrow, and the game would rule. I think having a game just in general that where you're going down the rapids. What was that one game that it was a flat game that you were going down rapids and it was tubing? Remember? That was pretty cool, right? Can you imagine tubing in VR
Tubing
multiplayer?
VR. There
That'd be
you go.
cool, right?
You know what makes me think of when I think about something like that, bow and arrow down the rapids? It makes me think of Rambo 2.
Oh
Like
yeah,
if they did a First Blood Part 2 VR game, they could do something very similar to that in this game. I agree. Uh, yeah, where's the archery, bro?
yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah, Battleship. The Battleship cheat provides you with infinite ammunition. So obviously you play through the game as you normally would, but you don't have to do the ammo pickups anymore. Everything's just already maxed out for you.
Yeah, well, it's good to have options. Some people are lazy and they don't want to search for ammo. They just want to go through the game and not have to worry about it. It's not like they want to waste ammo, but they don't like the mechanic, right? So it's good.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, a lot of new content here for what was already a great game. Kudos to these developers for supporting their gaming roots. You know, it's not called Challenge Pack; it's called Challenge Pack 1. So what
Mm,
that implies is that there's going to be a Challenge Pack 2, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And if you want something in the challenge pack too, don't hesitate to message the devs. I know Wes keeps getting devs to think about stuff that they weren't thinking about. I can't remember what it was recently that somebody changed. But you know, devs are listening, and a lot. And somebody in my chat and Twitch actually made. I think it was Cyan made a good point. You know, a lot of these devs, they're just they're they're shut off from what people want. They have no idea because I can't remember what it was. Something came up, and I was like, why would they not do that? Like that's a no brainer from a developer's standpoint. And they were like, and Cyan was like, oh, you know, a lot of devs are just disconnected from what's gamers want. You kind of have to tell them, hey, this is what it is, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and that's why they implore people for feedback all the time. That's why they do beta testing. They want to know what people want. A lot of them really are. I mean, they're not gamers, right? You know, a lot of the things like I was talking about earlier with the Hitman. You know, a lot of us inside this bubble here just assume that everyone, what we consider to be common sense, is common sense to everyone, but
Mm,
it's not the case. It's not the case with VR game developers, and it's not the case with anyone outside of our bubble, right?
mm,
So it always helps to just put it out there. We don't have to be toxic about it, right? We can put out there what we want without insulting people. And more often than not, I've found that these developers are not only willing to listen in death. that's a good
Yeah.
example there in depth. And when I told those guys that I want to be able to share it with my family, and immediately they put in that save profiles, 3 different save profiles. So these guys do listen. You just have to be willing to talk to them and be respectful about it, right?
Yeah, no, that was the game I was thinking about. Because to me, that's a no-brainer for every game on Quest. Why would you not have multiple saves? Because you're assuming that the person is the only person going to play there. You want to show it to your family. We showcase our games, showcase the Quest. Oh, here, check out this game. Oh, wait, don't mess with that because I don't want you to mess my game up, or I have to delete it and start over, so that they can try it. I've done that game. I mean, I guess that's a bad example because I don't have the Quest, but you know, so.
Another developer I mentioned this very same thing to was the Dash Dash world, and they seem receptive to the idea too, but a little bit more difficult when you think about the type of game that is, online competitive game.
Yeah.
But they seem receptive to the idea. We'll see what they implement. But it kind of sucks when playing anything, not only just on Quest but Rift as well, since there is no family sharing. Um, it's difficult to share, especially on Quest, which is a device that's meant to be shared. But unless the developers put in multiple save slots, it kind of locks people out, right?
Yeah. Kind of sucks.
Yeah. So anyway, any developers that may be watching that and are developing a game for the Oculus Quest, take note. We need multiple save slots. It's the only way we can let our spouses and our children play the game on Quest, because Oculus won't let multiple profiles exist on the device itself. So
Yeah.
we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can put it on an old school Zelda game from 1984, free save slots, you can do it on a Quest
Right.
game. Pretty sure.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, Phantom Covert Ops Challenge Pack 1 live now. Be sure to check it out.
Cool.
The next game I wanted to talk about, Rich, is a game that's been out for a long time, a couple of years now, and I've never played it, but a few of the people in our community are very high on this game. So I wanted to talk about it just a little bit, because while we're talking about updates, this game has gotten some friggin' updates, man. I'm talking about Vox. Is it Machinae? Is that how it's pronounced?
It's Machinae, I believe. That's how I pronounce it. I don't know. Maybe it's Machinae. I don't know.
Yeah. I always call it Vox Machinae. Of course, it launched into early access back in 2018, still in early access to this day. But updates over the last 2 years have added in co-op modes, cross-platform friends list, gameplay changing modules, new mechs, weapons, and more. So, Road to VR, I think it was, did a outstanding article on this game this week, just highlighting or summarizing rather all of the updates that have happened to this game since it first came out, and it's mind blowing everything that they've done. Now, of course, I didn't put it all in here, but I did take a few notes about some of the existing updates that have already come, some that are coming soon, and some that are coming even further down the road. Lots of stuff happening with this game, and again, like I said, a lot of people in our community very high on this game. And whenever I talk about not played it before, people talk like I'm crazy, right?
Yeah, you are crazy, dude.
How dare you?
You need to get into this game, dude. It's funny because I knew Radio Runt was going to say something, because every time it comes up, I'm in agreement. He said we need to play multiplayer in the Discord, because I am one of those people that I really enjoy this game. And the fact I was reading up on the things that have came to it, like they've added co-op, I think, to 3 or 4 people, not just multiplayer where you're all fighting again, but you actually have quests or missions and stuff you can go and it just sounds really cool, and it sounds like something I want to be a part of, and I already own it, so why not? So
Yeah, that's probably the most appealing thing about it to me. I've never have been a big fan of mech games, but again, VR kind of changes things, right? So like games I didn't really care for outside of VR, tend to be fun inside of VR, and I'm sure a mech game would be the same. I enjoyed Archangel, even though I know that's kind of a different kind of game. You know, that's a story-based on rails arcade shooter, where this is something completely different than that. But one of the more compelling things that I read about this game is about the co-op modes. They were added in 2019, so last year. The game's co-op modes support up to 4 players. In the convoy mode, players must escort 3 supply trucks along a route while defending them from enemy mechs. Along the way, you may find a base to capture or an enemy convoy to eliminate. And then in the bot stomp mode, it kind of plays out like a wave shooter, where ever increasing difficulty, players will bump into more powerful elite and guardian enemy variants. So it's a co-op wave shooter basically with increasing difficulty. So a couple of different co-op modes there, Roots, and you know, I've said it before. I'm not really the biggest competitive multiplayer player, but one thing I do enjoy a lot is co-op. I like playing co-op. So the fact that this game has a couple of different co-op modes that I can bring up to 3 friends into with me, that's certainly a big plus in my book.
See, I just like PvE. I want to play against a computer. I'm not too good on PvP because, you know, that has the whole human element and usually get owned in a lot of games. But what doesn't showcase in this trailer here, because it's an early trailer, I believe, is there's like this thing, Wes, you pull and it shoots you up in the air like a boost. So you're always like that part, you're always floating and flying, and this game feels amazing. I guarantee you're going to love it. Especially in a co-op mode. It's just so much. It's the most unique game I've played of this nature. I think Gamer Chick even said that as far as compared to what's that other one, Archangel or whatever. This one did things that one didn't do, and the fact that it's got co-op now and some other things that we can do together, I think it makes it a very viable game. It looks, it's really fun. So.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Archangel. I thought it was fun, but I didn't, again, competitive multiplayer, not my thing. So when they added in the Hellfire mode, I never even tried it. When I say I enjoyed Archangel, I'm talking about the main story campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I played completely through it, and I thought it was very good.
Well, the thing about this is you're controlling where you go, and that's what's kind of cool. Whereas Archangel was more on a rail. And man, every time I think about Archangel, I think about your son. Just saying, I'm not touching that game anymore. They killed that kid. Done.
Yeah, he was upset because they killed his son. He didn't want to play it after that.
What if it was a daughter? He probably would have been. He still would have kept playing. He's like, screw it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The game's latest update earlier this year added a new cross-platform friends list called Comrades. So basically what that means, Roots, is it doesn't matter if you're playing on Oculus or Steam, or I would assume even Viport. I think this might be an Infinity title, if I'm not mistaken. But it doesn't matter what platform you're playing on, because built into the game is an independent friends list. So it facilitates cross-platform multiplayer, which is something I can really appreciate.
Yeah, for sure. And it sounds like it's easy too. That's always good. A lot of these games are it's like pulling teeth trying to get a game together, right?
Yeah, yeah, and they obviously if you want to get a cross-platform multiplayer game going on, it's nice to not have to start a Facebook profile to do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Spry Guy's downloading it right now, and I'm gonna do the same. So we need to get some gameplay going on soon.
Yeah, Radio Rent says it is on Infinity, so Infinity confirmed. Everyone should go play it now.
Yeah, for sure.
The game's latest update. Oh, I just talked about that. The developer Space Bullet is also teasing some ambitious plans for the game's eventual 1.0 launch. The next update is due out in late summer. We talked about this at the top, Roots. We're kind of at late summer, right?
Yeah, it could be any day.
But the next update will have the bots having improved aim, and they will fire at targets of opportunity when their main target is out of view. They also can engage at longer distances than they could before. The buildings will now have dust and explosion effects when they get destroyed. Cable interactions and movement has been greatly improved. The hopper has been redesigned to be 20% smaller, making it harder to hit. Optimizations to CPU usage, load time, and improved legibility of text. So looks like the next update, which is set to drop at any time, a pretty big quality of life update.
Nice. Yeah, sounds good. I'm psyched to play it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Space Bullet also has slowly been building out our feature set and working towards our eventual version 1.0 release. Roots, what time is it?
It's quote time.
Quote time, sir. Good guess. We're still not quite ready to talk about some of the tentpole features we plan to debut with that milestone release, version 1.0. We have some rather ambitious plans, and think about Vox Machinae as an evolving and expanding product. So we're building many things around that concept and can't wait to start being able to talk about those when we're nearing the finish line. So Roots, here they are teasing some pretty big updates to their game when they come into full release. And the studio itself has brought on 3 additional employees since the game's launch and is currently looking to fill a few additional positions. So a growing game, Roots, a growing studio. And, apparently from the sounds of it, from our community here, already a great game that could probably go ahead and launch anytime if it wanted to.
Okay. Well, Derail says the Super Disco mode is coming soon. I thought he was serious. I was like, how the hell do they have a disco mode? But apparently,
he's probably talking about Dreams. In Dreams, there's one of these art displays, and one of the things that they have displayed is this mech. And I don't even remember which title it was in, but if I remember correctly, it does some like kind of disco dance or something if you hit a certain button on it.
Dude, this trailer is 4 years old, man. They've been working on this game, adding to it for 4 years. That tells you a lot about the studio, right? And I'm sorry, I can't stand a studio or a developer that just a one and done. I dropped it, and I mean, it better be the best fucking game out there in the world, or you should keep adding to it.
Exactly. Well, kudos to, because you got to imagine, after a certain period of time that the money probably slows down a lot from a developer's standpoint, right? People buy it, and then, the people who aren't buying it, obviously it's going to take some convincing for these people. So I'd say that the money slows down after a while. So the fact that they continue to work on it and improve it, it's commendable, right?
Well, exactly. And it's not short-sighted. They're looking to the future. They want to have a game that's viable, that people are still going to be picking up and playing in 2021 when the VR pool gets bigger. And my biggest thing is, it's kind of like an artist, every time you paint a new picture, you're giving yourself credibility to how good you are, and it just stacks up and stacks up. And if you're continually working on your game, like something like No Man's Sky, that tells people one thing. And then if it's an amazing game, it tells them a totally different thing. And if you bring it all together, when they drop a new one, it's kind of like with Survios. You're like, oh shit, Survios. Yeah, I got to check out that game. You start to get street cred, right? And people don't even if it's a bizarre game and the trailer looks weird, you're like, well, I know the studio is amazing. And then it comes out and it's amazing. So it's just important. It's more important than this. It's just very short-sighted to think, okay, I finished the game. I'm going to dust off my hands. Now no more money's coming in, but it's a fine line as well, because they can't just keep dumping time into a game forever. So, but
well, that's kind of the cool thing that sets VR game development apart from a traditional game development. It is kind of an investment, right, in the future, because the players aren't here yet, but they're coming, right?
Yeah.
So, but by releasing into early access like this, it kind of gives them another opportunity. I mean, they can sit here and prepare for when the player base is going to be a lot larger, and when we finally get there, then they can launch again. It's kind of like when you go to one of these stores and you see it say grand reopening
Mhm.
because they moved a few of the shelves around, right, and have a few new products. It's kind of like that, but the only difference being that in VR you have all of these new customers that have moved in since the last time.
Yeah, and they're all gonna want to play a cool mech game, and this so far, that in my opinion, this is the best one out there so far in VR. So
Absolutely. So yeah, available right now on Viport Infinity. Apparently, a lot of people in the chat down for some action here. So again, uh, scroll right down to the description there. You'll see the invitation to our Discord. If you're not a member already, be sure to join up. And generally, that's where the multiplayer pops off on an almost daily basis, right?
yeah, yep.
Anyway, winding down here, I've got one more game I want to talk about, and it's a game that I've seen before, but I didn't really have enough info. I don't think we've ever talked about it before, but it's intriguing. It looks pretty cool to me, and this game is called Anderson. And the reason why I've decided to go ahead and talk about it now is because we just learned that Anderson is going to be releasing into Steam Early Access on the 25th of August.
Mm.
So not very long at all, Roots, 9 days away.
That's free too, right?
Is it?
I thought it was. I thought I read that it was free.
Well, that would be. I know that they had a demo out forever ago, but I would be shocked if this was a free title. I don't think that that doesn't seem right to me.
Well, maybe back it was. I guess this is Anderson VR gameplay free escape the room, but that was 2 years ago. So it's very
Right.
possible that that was the demo. So
Yeah, yeah, that is true. That I think this is what that became.
okay.
But this isn't going to be a free title. This is going to cost money.
Yeah, it did. It was intriguing, and I want to say this out there to developers as well. Put out artwork, like put out something like a one that somebody could use in a thumbnail. Because all I could find for Anderson was these weird oblong small pictures, and because it was intriguing and it's a new game, I wanted to showcase in our thumbnail, and I couldn't because I couldn't find a good picture. So it's kind of a bummer because I wanted to put Anderson VR right on the thumbnail. So
Yeah, well, maybe we'll have to after the game comes out. Maybe we'll have to take some screenshots ourselves if we're talking about this one again, which I think is a very good possibility because this is a story-driven mystery game that is inspired by the classic point and click adventures. So when I see a game like this, Roots, it reminds me of those Scion games, right? When I say Scion, I really mean Cyan. You know, the Mist, the Rivens, the Abduction, that type of a game. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this one.
yeah, it definitely seemed pretty weird. Now Gamer Chick asked, we talked about Distortion VR, right? I'm pretty sure we did about their Kickstarter.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
we covered it.
A few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, on more than one occasion. We talked about it a long time ago before it had a trailer. I kind of made a trailer for it, and we talked about it. And then a few weeks ago, when the Kickstarter launched, we did a segment on it then. Yeah, I'm trying to get the word out about it, man. He's almost halfway through his Kickstarter period there, and it's not going so well. And it's an awesome looking game. So yeah, absolutely. I would encourage those of you who haven't checked it out already. There's a website. He just put up a new website for the game, and it's an amazing looking website. You guys should all go check it out.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's definitely one of those games that looks like it'd be worth supporting, right? So.
Yeah, yeah, he's a cool dude, Jeff, and you know, he's been a friend of the channel for quite a while now. So yeah, I wish him all the all the best, all the most success in the world. But yeah, Gamer Chick, if you go back, it was just a couple of weeks ago on a recent show that we talked about it. It was one of the Virtual Strangers shows. It wasn't the Monday show. And PD, I think, showcased the demo, which is a bit of a shooting range. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot in the demo, to be honest. But yeah, go back and check it out. It's a pretty cool looking experience.
It was Virtual Strangers 43.
Oh, no, that was the first time we talked about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Give me a second here. I'll tell you exactly which one it was.
If anybody hears an engine throttling, my roommate's working on his car down there, and it's out of my control. Can't help it. It's very throaty though, right? If I can feel it in my feet and it's affecting my mic, it's pretty damn crazy. That's my Job out there.
Yeah, that's okay. So let's see here. I think it's. Whoa! Pause.
I didn't see it. We must not have mentioned it in the old or in the trail or in the information.
Oh, that's not it. Well, yeah, difficult to.
Maybe the Monday show, June 2nd, 2020. I don't know. That's what.
Maybe it was the Monday show. I was thinking that it was. That was during one of the Sunday shows, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. At any rate, it was in recent weeks. You know, whenever the week that that he launched the Kickstarter, we announced it on the show. So it'll be, just a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Anyway, Anderson, back to Anderson here. The premise here is that the game is set in an abandoned research facility that belongs to an individual named Dr. A. Friedreich. You are stuck in the laboratory, and now you have to explore, solve puzzles as you make sense of your captivity. You're accompanied by a computerized companion, Anderson, and you'll be encountering documents left behind by the late doctor as you piece together the puzzles to solve the mysteries of this abandoned and isolated laboratory. So, Ruuts, you're waking up in this mysterious place, this mysterious laboratory. This doctor apparently nowhere to be found. You don't know why you're there or how to get out, but this AI, this bot, Anderson, is going to be there to help guide you through what essentially seems to be an expanded escape the room, right?
Oh, thank God Anderson's there to help me, because I don't know how I'd get out of there. I don't know if I 100% trust Anderson. So maybe that's just my paranoia kicking in, but I feel like I just don't know.
Anderson, trust Anderson. It's normal.
It's the AI, dude. You got to trust it. No, why would the AI be evil? You know what I mean? They're just going to be completely, anonymous, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, right, right. I could see Ruuts escaping from this laboratory, and the bot just stepping in front of him. Yeah. I'm sorry, Ruuts, but I'm afraid I can't allow you to do that.
I can't allow you to leave. Stabs you in the face. Scion turns into Scion. He shoves a knife in your face. Yeah.
You know what I find interesting is how much Anderson resembles the job bots from Job Simulator.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. It's kind of weird, but I think I was kind of intrigued by the trailer. And for a free, oh yeah, it's not free. Do you know what the cost is going to be on this?
No idea what the cost is going to be on this.
Yeah, why would an AI with dementia be evil? Yeah, it's kind of like Skiva trying to put, for aliens saying that, oh yeah, they're all going to be nice and friendly, and I think that if aliens were existing, they would not be nice and friendly.
They're going to be giant praying mantises who come down and eat our heads, Ruuts.
Yeah, they suck your blood out and the inner essence,
Yeah. Anyway, the early access version is going to conclude prior to the final scene. So the game in its early access form is not going to have an ending. But during the early access period, the developer will continue to polish the art and the gameplay, as well as add more content to the title. So it's not a full game that we're getting here, Ruuts. Just a good piece of a game, let's say.
How much of a piece? That's my question.
That is the question.
This is the type of stuff that gives Alex the way he is with early access validity, because why would I want to start a game that doesn't have a finish? Because now my mind is starting right off the bat. I'm thinking, okay, I can't get into this game, because I don't want to play and then have it stop because the game ended. It's weird. It's a weird way. They're doing some weird stuff in VR lately, Wes. Like some of the decisions like this, and what was that other game where they're the parkour one, Stride. It's like, why would you release? I don't know, man. I'm not going to go down that road again. It's weird.
I think it's going to be the endless mode. Since you're taking us down that road, we were kind of trying to figure out which one of the modes that Stride would launch with. I think it's going to be the endless mode.
Yeah, I think so too. I just think it should start with a story mode, but I guess it just depends on what you're into. Some people are probably
these guys, they need money, right? So I kind of get it. I see both sides. If people buy the early access version of the game, it's a way for us to support these independent developers and allow them to do more with the game, right?
Yeah, but it's an escape the room game. How do you release an escape the room game that I can't escape on day one? Like, to me, that's a flaw. I get it. The money needs to come in, but
it's labeled early access for a reason. I mean, it's not a full launch.
Yeah, true.
Mepper says, any word on Daily On Legends, their web pages now?
Ooh, I did not. I that reminds me. I still have the that build. I wonder if it's still. I should have access to it still.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should touch base with those guys this week because I'm interested too in what kind of progress they've made on that game. Some very beautiful looking visuals and a good base of a game they had, right? A good base to build on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Anderson is going to support Valve Index, HTC Vive, and Oculus Rift when it launches in the early access in just a few short days.
Cool.
All right, that's going to wrap up the news for this week and bring us into our weekly reminders. And as always, our first reminder is going to be to ask you all to go along with us as we support these developers by wish listing some of these awesome games that we talked about. And, right off the top, Roots, Anderson, it's there for the taking. Sometimes we have a difficulty finding stuff that isn't already on our wish list. Well, here's one.
Anderson's on the wish list. You said we can put it on the wish list, right? Yeah, because it just
That's
came out.
Or at least,
yeah, absolutely. I think I already did. I'm not sure. I know. I wish.
So?
Well, no. I mean today, because when I was pulling the trailer, I thought I remember wish listing it.
Boom. So I've got it now. What else did we talk about today? A lot of cool stuff on here. Little Witch Academia, right? You Quest owners out there all over that one, I'm sure. I'm sure that Hitman and Onslaught already on everybody's wish list. Phantom Covert Ops, if you don't own that, I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? And Vox Machinae, I mean, obviously that was one that probably should go on my wish list right now. So
yeah, for sure. Well, and isn't that one that's on Viveport Infinity, right? So you could play it. You could join with us right now.
Absolutely. $25 retail on Steam.
Wow. Yeah, it's a pretty pricey game. It's definitely worth it, especially since they've added to it. But I know it goes on sale as well.
Anyway, these developers, they always ask us to wishlist their games for a reason. Obviously it helps them by raising the profile of their game on the store. It also informs them about the customer demand and lets them know maybe if they need to do a little bit more promotional activity. So, so if you would all just join us in wish listing any of the games that we talked about today that you might find interesting, we very much appreciate it.
Yeah, Phil Yarn says he doesn't have Covert Ops, and I say, oops, wrong one.
How dare you?
I didn't mean to do the weird sounds. But yeah, we say how dare you, Phil Yarn.
It's fun, Phil. He says, is it a must-have? And I say that there's no other game like it in VR. It's very fun. And I mean, what do you think, Roots? A must-own?
If you like that type of game, if you're into Stealth games, absolutely. I know
Yeah.
Mamefan went through and had, he played through the whole thing. I enjoyed it. So
The cool thing is that it's a story-based stealth game, right? With this structure that we've never seen before in VR with the the boat. The shooting mechanics are great, even though you don't necessarily want to use them all the time. Um, but beyond that, beyond the story campaign, every level is timed, and there is a point value given to everything that you do. So there's leaderboards. So not only are you playing through a story campaign, but you're also being scored on it. So there's this replayability that story-driven games normally don't have. And the production quality top notch, of course, coming from In Dreams. So yeah. I mean, I would say yes for the price. I think that it's a great game.
yeah, VR Spry Guy says what? Mamefan actually finished the game. Yeah, so that's not much of saying much, but the fact that he streamed it and then he finished it in like 2 sittings, right? So that was
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, he played straight through it. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to our next reminder, and this is free stuff and killer deals, Roots. Not the laundry list that we had last week, but still some pretty cool stuff. As always, we're going to start off by reminding everyone that PlayStation Plus games for August are Fall Guys, as well as Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. So anyone who is a PlayStation Plus subscriber, go ahead and pick up those games. Fall Guys, Roots, man, people are playing the hell out of this game, and I really just want it to get the hell out of my YouTube feed.
Is it in your YouTube feed? It's in my Twitch as well. I've actually considered checking it out just because people like it and it looks bizarre. I mean, all I've seen, I know it's a battle royale, kind of cartoony, but I've seen like races where everybody's like trying to. There's all these multiple doors, and like there's like 50 people going, and everyone's like only one door works, and everyone's like bumping everyone out of the way. It looks chaotic. Looks like it could be fun. Yeah, it just came out of nowhere, right? And it's like the biggest game, I guess.
Well, to its credit, PD played it as well, but he played it in Vorpex.
Oh wow. See, I've thought about picking it up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is for. Well, I mean, I guess you'd have to pay for it on Steam, right? It's $20,
Yeah.
but it's free on PlayStation.
Well, see, I just thought it'd be a good game to maybe stream. There's a lot of games out there that are really fun to stream with other people, like with, where it's very interactive for the streamers and or for the people watching it, and I think that's one of them. So
Yeah, well, a lot of people are really into this game. John Riggs calling it Game of the Year already,
wow,
which is saying something. So
I gotta buy it now.
just a quick reminder while we're on the topic, this is the last week of the PlayStation Network Summer Sale.
Ooh.
And not a lot of stuff on sale anymore in the VR section, but there are a few must-have games that are at ridiculous prices on there. We've talked about them in the prior weeks. I'm not going to go through them again. But last week to take advantage of these great prices on these must-have games.
Yeah, Gamer Chick says size doesn't matter. I agree. Just to preface what that was about, Spry Guy said the YouTube channel is small, but the Discord is quite active. I think we have the best community in VR, but I keep saying that. So
Yeah, we're approaching 800 strong on our YouTube channel, but 800 verified users, 100% all natural and real here. So yeah, I love our community, and yeah, I don't feel like a small YouTuber.
yeah, no shortcuts. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Anyway, Epic Game Store this week, Roots Remnant from the Ashes, absolutely free. Am I mistaken, or did someone say that this is some kind of a successor to Chronos?
I that's what Alex said. Actually, I picked it up and it looks pretty cool. The trailer, I should have picked it up or pulled a trailer for it, but I only pulled the VR ones. But no, it definitely looks pretty cool and it's definitely worth picking up. And I might try it in Helix Vision.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get this thing going in 3D because I agree this is a very cool looking game. And I was wondering how such a awesome looking game would be free, but I scrolled down and then it dawned on me. there's upcoming paid DLC coming for this game.
Oh wow.
So that's the reason why they're getting it in everybody's hands. It's been out for a while. People obviously probably aren't buying it anymore. But if they can get everybody to own it and download it and play it, and then release a DLC pack, there's a way to monetize it all over again, right?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Chronos is an amazing game, very underrated, very highly polished. So if it's anything like Chronos, it's definitely worth playing through.
Yeah, absolutely. Also free on the Epic Store this week, the Alto Collection, which is a 2D side scroller. Another thing that looked like it would probably be kind of cool looking in Helix Vision. So again, free. Free's free, bro.
Yeah, you know what's coming is Enter the Gungeon next week, I think, and that is actually a pretty good flat game, and that would be amazing, I think, in 3D.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, Helix Vision's given me a whole new lease on gaming. Like it took Jenny and Thaco and Moose Life to pull me out of my flat gaming that I've been doing in VR for the last 2 weeks. It's pretty much all I've done.
Yeah, I was just about to say you were giving me crap about flat gaming, but you were doing it in VR.
Doing it in VR. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Anyway, Oculus, Roots, we've said it many times here because games on the Oculus Quest store haven't been going on sale very much, but a way that you can get those games on sale often is by watching the Rift store for the cross-buy titles to go on sale, because often you'll see a cross-buy title on sale on the Rift store, but not on the Quest store. So you buy it on Rift, it makes the Quest version free. So in a roundabout way, the Quest game is on sale. But on a very rare occasion, you'll see the opposite happen. And a game that is on sale on the Quest store, a cross-buy title, won't be on sale on the Rift store. And today only, this happens to be the case for Real VR Fishing. Real VR Fishing got a substantial multiplayer update in recent weeks, allowing you to co-op and go fishing with your friends. I thought that this was already an awesome looking game, Roots, but the fact that that now you and I can get in this game and go fishing together, I think that's just awesome. And if you're like me, you've been waiting on it to go on sale, well, wait no longer. It's the daily deal on the Oculus Quest store. $16 will get you the game on Quest, and then it will unlock the Rift version for free. So awesome looking game and awesome deal, Roots.
Yeah, what's weird is it somehow transformed into an airplane flying, because I know I saw that scene was changed. Very bizarre, but yeah. So this should be the right one. What's funny is I didn't even know that you could do that with the Quest. Because there's a big misconception. I'm sure a lot of people right now, aside from yelling at the screen that there's an airplane on there, they say, Wes, I don't have a Quest. How do I buy a game without a Quest? Well, I'll tell you what, when Roots did, I actually picked this up because Wes and I are going to do a future money show in the fishing. I logged in under the Quest and under my account. And when I went to buy it, it said, oh, you don't have a Quest connected. Are you sure you want to buy this? And I said, hell yeah. And I bought it. And then it was available on my Rift. So you can absolutely buy Quest games, even if you don't have a Quest. So.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't understand why they don't allow players to access the Oculus Quest store through the Oculus desktop client. But that's the case. If you click store in your Oculus software, it always takes you to the Rift store. But if you go into your web browser, you can switch back and forth between Rift and Quest. So just go to Google and type in Oculus Quest Store, and it'll take you right there. And you'll see what games are on sale for Quest. And you can also Google cross-buy apps, and there's a list from Oculus, a living, breathing list that changes every day of cross-buy apps. So you know what's cross-buy, you know what's on sale, and yeah, this is a cool looking game, Roots, and I'm looking forward to checking it out.
What's funny is this game, it has so many good reviews, even on the Quest and the Rift, probably on Steam as well. Tells you, or is this an Oculus exclusive? I don't think it is it? But
I think that this one actually is a Quest or a Oculus exclusive. Maybe
okay.
I'm wrong about that. There's another one called Ultimate Fishing Simulator,
Hmm.
which is on Steam. It's on Viveport as well too, in Infinity, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is
But
supposed to be the best one out there, and I know my nephew picked up a Quest, and his dad's a huge. My brother-in-law's a huge fisherman. You know, a person that likes to fish, and he really likes it. So that tells you a lot. So
yeah, I used to fish a lot, like when I was younger. It's been many years since I've went, but this game looks awesome. I watched a couple of people play. I watched Gamertag play. I watched PD play this game. Unless I'm mistaken, I think that you can play in like a realistic mode, which is what we're looking at here. But if when you're new to the game and maybe you're not the best fisherman in the world, you can turn on some like helpers and stuff too that tell you where the fish are at, how to reel, how to what lures to use, things like that. They'll give you some help until you learn what you're doing, and then if you want the immersive experience after you learn what you're doing, you can turn all that stuff off, and you just have your stuff in your hand and you just go fishing. It's photo real. Uh, this is actual locations. Interestingly, these locations are in Korea, like South Korea.
all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Wow. Well, that's kind of cool. I mean, well, even at that the bridge, I just kind of thought that was kind of cool that you got real fishing spots. But it's weird that you would think that they would at least have some American fishing spots, since
Well, to be honest, man, when I look at some of these, I mean, it looks like Kentucky. I mean,
Okay.
honestly, the different. I mean, they have a typical lake. They'll have a typical riverside, riverbank scene. The scenes that they have are kind of universal. They could be anywhere.
Hmm. Oh yeah, it looks really good. I can't wait to check it out. 16
Yeah,
bucks today only.
$16 today only. If you're as interested in this as I am, today's the time to buy. But again, if you go to the Rift store, it's going to tell you $20. Go to the Quest store, and that's where you'll find your discount. And then the Rift version will unlock for you.
Yeah, Skiva says they were going to have some American spots. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll add it. But
Yeah,
I'm kind of psyched. I know I was telling you when you suggested, maybe we pick this up today. I was like, I remember you've been talking about this game since it dropped,
yep,
and the fact that it's on sale. And then I thought Money Show. I was like, well, no brainer.
absolutely.
Okay.
A couple of other games on sale on the Oculus Rift store. The American Dream. I don't know if you remember this, Roots. This got a little bit of play on PlayStation. It's a rail shooter with an interesting twist. It's a game where you do everything with guns. Like it's called the American Dream because it's making fun of how Americans apparently all have guns. But like you make breakfast with guns. It's that type of a premise here. It's a funny game. $6 on
Wow, that's a
the
good deal.
Oculus store.
I might
Yeah.
check it out because I've wanted to try this game since it came out, or since I saw Nathan play it back in the day. So
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks like a good time. It certainly looks like it's worth $6.
yeah. Well, Delirium Drew just said, "Damn his coworkers. He just missed the last 40 minutes." I don't agree with that, but you can always go back and check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Good Goliath. Normally I don't repeat deals after after I inform people one week. I won't come back to it the next week. But I thought that this one was worth mentioning again, Roots, because it's a tragically underrated game, and at $10, I mean, it's a great price.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I'll tell you what. This game, I need to go back into it because I haven't not gotten to the pirate areas, but I thought that it looked so good, and I want to check out that pirate area. And it's one of those games where it's kind of like soccer, the headmaster, where the whole mechanic about heading the ball is what the game is about. This is all about catching and throwing stuff, like every single thing. Even if you've got like life and you need to eat it, you have to throw something at that life, and then it comes to you. So you're throwing and catching. So it's just using that mechanic in a way that I've never really seen in any other games. And plus it's got really
Yeah.
cool enemies to fight. So
And the gameplay expands as you go on. Like when you get into the pirate levels, you can when they launch the people at you, you can catch them. If you drop them into the water, a shark will pop up, and you can catch the shark
hmm.
and throw it.
Wow, that's cool.
Also, if you destroy these cannon turrets, the cannon will come flying at you, and you can catch it and shoot it like a gun.
Oh wow. Well, I'll tell you, for $10, man, this game has got. I mean, even just I played like 2.5, 3 hours, and I never made it to the pirate stuff or to the devil guy or half the stuff. I feel like I've played half the game, and for $20, the value's there. For $10, that's a no brainer. But I think this is on Viveport Infinity as well. So if you have that, you could play it for free.
That is true. This is another Infinity title. Skiva says it looks interesting. I'm telling you, man, this is a fun game. If you enjoy a quick reflex game like Headmaster, you're going to enjoy this game as well. It's really fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Oh, what did I say? Headmaster? I meant, what was the one we talked about on the Monday show? Great Header.
Oh, yeah, Great Header, dude. Headmaster's garbage. Great Header, amazing.
Yeah. So if you like playing games like Great Header, then you're going to enjoy Good Goliath. Hey, Roots, you know who else is a great header?
I was just about to say that. You stole that right out of my mouth, although it's your joke.
Onakazi said he picked up Scion for $250. Yeah, I noticed that on there as well. I haven't really, I've never played that game, but it looks pretty cool. It's one of those old pixel art style games, right?
Yeah, I think it's where you got the ship and you got to move it around with your hand. I own that game. I've played it. It's pretty cool. For $250, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, awesome. Moving on to Steam, a couple of good deals on Steam as well, Roots. First of all, there's a bundle, which just blows my mind. Boiling Steel, in my opinion, is a tragically underrated game. It was completely overshadowed by the games that released in the same launch window as it, namely those Oculus exclusives that have gone on to become known as some of the greatest games we've ever seen. But Boiling Steel is a very, very good game, and most people don't know it because, again, it was overshadowed at the time, and it's pretty much been forgotten since then. But there's a bundle on Steam right now where you can get Boiling Steel along with Guns and Stories Bulletproof, which is a very fun wave shooter. Rich, you can own both of those titles for $12 right now.
Jesus, man. I'll tell you what, dude. I've enjoyed both games. I've played through Guns and Stories, and there's still more I could do. I really enjoyed the gameplay of Guns and Stories, and I really enjoyed Boiling Steel as well. And it's completely different, two different types of games. And I would probably say Guns and Stories is one of my favorite wave shooters that I've tried so far.
Yeah, man, it's certainly one of the best wave shooters in VR. It's got a lot of humor and attitude in it as well. It's not just all about the shooting mechanics, which are great. But yeah, that's a fun game. To get these two games for $12, it almost seems like a typo to me. That is so cheap. I mean, Boiling Steel alone is worth that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Guns and Stories, I put about 4 to 6 hours, maybe 6 hours into to beat through the story. And Boiling Steel, I think I played 2 or 3 hours, and I don't even feel like I scratched the surface as far as that story goes. So you definitely, for $12, you're getting probably 20 hours of gameplay or more. That would be my guess, but at least 10. So.
Yeah, I'm going to do a video on Boiling Steel soon because I think that people are sleeping on this game, and it's a hidden gem in my opinion at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Visionarium, Roots, $5. This is not a game, Visionarium. It's one of these experiences that puts music with like trippy visuals, if you will. There's a bunch of these types of titles in VR. There are a dime a dozen, but Visionarium is actually one of the best, if not the best one that I've seen so far. So for $5, it's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I bought it. Somebody in the Discord recommended this game back in October because I bought it October 24th, 2019. And it was pretty cool.
I bet you it was Chris Gold.
Yeah, it probably was. It's actually pretty cool. So
yeah, miss you, Chris, if you're watching. Hope you're doing well. Stocks in house Roots. I've played a few different escape the room type games this year. I haven't played them all, but I've played the new one, the VR Escape the Room Inner Voices. I've played Dreamback VR. The best one that I've tried this year, Roots, Stocks in House, which is interesting because it was just a couple of guys that made this game. But it's been the best one I've tried this year. It's actually a really solid, dark themed escape the room game. $7 and absolutely worth it in my opinion.
Wow, I need to check that out. I know I went into it. We were going to talk about it on the show one time, and I got as far as the guy with the TV, and I didn't get too far into it. We ended up talking about something else, but you literally said, well, it's worth playing, and that you wanted to talk about it in the future. So I'm sure we'll be talking about it in a future episode.
Yeah, I need to go back into it, honestly, because I've made some fairly significant progress. I played it for, I don't know, over two, almost 3 hours I put into it, if I remember correctly. And I felt like I was making some real progress in it. But as frequently happens when you have a YouTube channel like this, the next game comes along and takes your attention, and the last one gets left behind. And that very much is what happened with me in Stocks and House. And if you like that type of game, if you like the darker games, if you like the escape the room type games, this is a pretty solid one for $7.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to wrap up free stuff and killer deals and bring us into our final set of reminders this week and every week. And that is how you can support our channel. And of course, if you're new to the channel, the best way to support our channel is by clicking that subscribe button down there, as well as the notification bell, which will allow you to be notified whenever we release new content on our channel. Of course, for those of you who have been with us longer and would like to do a little bit more, you can support us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, not only will you gain access to our weekly show notes, but you will also gain access to the always awesome Money Show. And I really like the format that we've finally settled on for the Money Show, Roots, where we go into these games, we play co-op together, we capture it, but it's not just about the gameplay. We're talking about the topics of the day in VR while we're playing the game. And it's always a lot of fun. And so far, at least, it's always made for some really good, entertaining episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get to check out games at the same time. And so it's a win-win for everybody except for the people that aren't Patreon. Although eventually we'll probably release it down the road. So
yeah, we'll probably start doing some of this stuff for the main channel as well. But as of right now, it's a Patreon exclusive, and I think we're going to do Bloody Zombies for the Money Show Part 5. And if I had to bet, I'd bet Money Show 6 turns out to be fishing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Of course, as we mentioned before, you can also join the conversation by joining the community by clicking the invitation to our Discord down in the description below. 24/7, all day, all night. Multiplayer going on, conversation going on. It's a great community, and I invite you all to join.
Yeah.
All right. Did I forget anything, Roots? I always forget all the stuff we plug at the end of the shows. I always forget.
I think that's it. I think that's everything. Oh, and stop by my Twitch channel. I stream. I think I'm going to stream later that Djinni and Thaco or whatever the hell the name of that is. So
yeah, you absolutely should. That game is one that you're going to have to put some time into to fully appreciate. So yeah, I got to imagine that you're going to be in it for a while. So check out Roots' Twitch. That also linked in the description below. And yeah, with that said, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends. Bye-bye.